On Sunday, Ebonyi State government said it has concluded plans to purchase a fleet of 4 aircraft that will lead the Chuba Okadigbo International Airport in Onueke, Izar South local government area of Ebonyi State. Now, is this the best thing to do against the backdrop of the economic crisis in Nigeria, particularly in Ebonyi State, because it is affecting it? Of course, in the southeast, other states have their own airports, Anambra State, Enugu State, and the rest of them. So it is not something that is unusual for Ebonyi State to have his own airport, his own airline, and also his own aircraft. So with me to discuss this issue is Mr. T. Mr. T.
Thank you for inviting me.
All right. So I don't know how you see this, but for me, I believe it is a welcome development.
Well, constructing an airport and floating an airline, of course, is a welcome development. You see, it is part of the infrastructural development that Nigerians yearn for when we see the country developing infrastructurally. However, I will want to ask, without prejudice, is Ebonyi really ready for that? You see, a fruit, when it ripes, it falls naturally to the ground without effort. And all you need to do is just pick it, wash, and eat. But what happens when you eat a fruit that you force to ripe, or you force to fall and force to ripe? You might get dysentery or other diseases from that, and that will make you very sick. So the question is Ebonyi ripe for its airport and the airline? Given the airline is not the bone of contention, because it should not be blamed for whatever I say here and now, because the airport is already there. So this argument should have risen ab initio about the airport itself. Is Ebonyi ripe for airport? I have these indices I want to share with you. Like you mentioned, Ebonyi is mainly an agricultural state.
Exactly.
Producing mainly agriculture. So the first question that came to my mind when the state wanted to construct an airport is the airport going to enhance production of agriculture? I don't think so. My reasons. One, I tried to, before jumping to conclusion, I made a comparative analysis between Ebonyi State and its neighboring state, Enugu. So what I have here is that in their GDP, Enugu State has $4.4 billion, while Ebonyi State has approximately 3.4 billion. Check out the difference. In their per capita, Enugu State has $2,200, while Ebonyi State has $1,400. In the internally generated revenue, Enugu has 26.72 billion naira, while Ebonyi has 14.9 billion. In IGR per capita, Enugu has 5,213 naira, while Ebonyi State has 3,444 naira. Now check this out. Poverty rate in Enugu State is 37.2%, while poverty rate in Enugu State is 57%. Alarmingly, 57%. More than half the population of Ebonyi residents are poor. Therefore, we ask, to what intent is the airport and the airline, who are they meant to serve ab initio? the relatively little figure of the rich or the endless number of Ebonians who are quite really poor. We should have considered, if the people have put everything into consideration, I don't think they would have taken that decision to build that airport. One of the reasons is what we call putting the cart before the horse. Which one comes first? Is it the cat? Hold on 1 second. Is it the cat or the horse? If you put the cart before the horse, what happens? It becomes counterproductive. But if you put the horse before the cart, it's natural. This horse goes and the cart follows naturally, with little effort.
And what is the cat and the horse in Ebonyi State? What is the cat and the horse in Ebonyi State?
The airport.
The airport is the cat.
Why I said that? The airport is the cat coming before the horse.
And what is
Why
the horse?
do I say that?
The horse? What is the horse?
Well, you will understand what I mean.
Okay.
If you take a look at it again at the poverty, the report.
Mr. Tima, I think you are making an incomparable comparison. Yes, you cannot compare Ebonyi State and Enugu State. Enugu State has an airport already.
You didn't even ask me why I made that comparison, right?
I was about asking you.
You should have asked.
All right.
Feel free.
All right. What do you think is the discrepancy? The cause of the discrepancy between the...
I will clarify on that. But first of all, talk about that airport. The report continues. Ebonyi State has a newly built airport, poor road network, and limited electricity supply. Which comes first, airport or good road network?
No one comes first.
Wrong, my brother.
They exist together.
They don't exist together.
Listen, the job
if you want to be circumspect about what you do, if you are putting everything into perspective, you should know that a good road network is more of a priority than an airport. 57% of your population don't have road to traverse from one country, from one part of the state to another, and you think airport is your priority? Do you? 57 for crying out loud. What? This is more than half the population trying to feed from hand to mouth, and you ignore them, and your interest is to build an airport for the maybe 1% elite. Do you want to compare Enugu Airport with Ebonyi Airport? Please don't do. I will tell you. I'll give you 2 reasons. One, when Enugu Airport was built, was when we were still Anambra State, the old Anambra State. You know that,
yes,
right? What was the population of Anambra then? Don't forget that the present Anambra was part of the system. Enugu was part of the system. This Ebonyi was part of the system. So that airport was overdue. It's not due. It was overdue. And when it was built, it brought a heave of relief to the people. And that time, during those political dispensations, our cries and hues and cries were not about road networks. There were good road networks in and around Nigeria then. Today, what do you have? No road network. Try to go from Oka to Enugu here. Tell me what you will see. A journey that naturally should take 30 minutes will take 3 hours. And then your interest, your primary interest is to go and construct an airport and buy a fleet of aircrafts. That is what I call putting the cart before the horse. Secondly, take for example, Anambra State Airport. Ab initio, I made reference of a fruit that ripes naturally and should fall naturally, right?
Of course.
Before Anambra Airport was built, Anambrarians were using Imo and Enugu Airport. Years later, Asaba Airport came in and makes it more beautiful. But then, the last government thought that it is wise that Anambra should have its own airport, and Ula, here we have an airport. do you realize that it was overdue even then for Anambra to have its own airport? Are you talking of businessmen from Onitsha, from Nnewi, from Oka, who need to go fly in and out of the state and out of the country every day of the week? How many people fly from Abakaliki to other parts of Nigeria, talk less of outside the country? Do you want to compare that with Anambra? Do you want to compare that with Asaba? Do you want to compare that with Enugu? Enugu Airport was built for what is today 3 states. But look at the population of Ebonyi. I also made a comparative analysis of their population. Let me quickly show you this also. Enugu has a population of 4,690,100 according to 2022 statistics. What of Ebonyi?
In as much as
Finally, what of Ebonyi? Ebonyi is 3,242,500, far less than Enugu, and 57% of this population are poor. That means that a very infinitesimal number of Ebonians will use that airport. If you want to agree with me, agree. If you want, argue the much you like. But my conclusion is that airport was not built for the interest of Ebonyi people. That airport was built for the interest of the few elites who want to also show off that we too don't land. Them land. But the 57 population will continue to wallow in the mud, suffering bad road, suffering poor road network, and so on, while the few will jet in and jet out.
Well, in as much as roads are important, of course, I disagree with you saying that the building of an airport, an airline, is putting the cart before the horse. That is not true. Because government has the capacity to do so many things at a time. That's why it has various ministries. The Ministry for Transport, Ministry for Entertainment, and all that. So the existence of an
airport. Why haven't the ministry responsible for road network done it before the airport and airline?
Remember the past government, the previous government of Dave Omai, built multicolored roads. He did well on roads. And government is a continuum. There are so many things to be done.
Are you disputing this report I have here?
What? It may be wrong. There are so many things on the internet. It may be wrong.
Okay, continue. Let me not display.
So what I'm saying is this. You talked about, you asked me earlier, does anyone fly? Does anyone fly from Ebonyi State?
I didn't say does anyone. I said how many people?
Okay, how many persons? Now, what if the government says, okay, we want to expand our economy. We want people to be exporting goods, these agricultural products from Ebonyi State to other parts of Nigeria and also outside the country. What if it has said that? Listen, your submission means that you have a narrow mind. You don't want the Southeast to expand. That is it.
My brother,
and again,
I don't talk on sentiments. I talk based on facts and figures. Yes. You can narrow your discussion to, you can limit it to your sentiments.
No,
you can limit it to whatever. I don't talk based on fantasy. I don't fantasize.
Listen,
I don't want to think for Ebonians because they have brains sitting on their necks. I talk based on what I see. When I heard the report, I made the research. What did you do? You were here shouting, clapping for them.
The facts are not enough. You must interpret that facts. The causes of the poverty in Ebonyi State.
You generate your own facts. Before you start comparing, you can't compare nothing with nothing. At least I have something on ground. What do you have? Nothing. And you're arguing. You are arguing based on fantasy. You are arguing based on your whims and caprices. You are arguing based on sentiment.
No, I'm telling you the reality.
Reality of what? 57% Ebonyans. Can you imagine what is the percentage of poverty rate in Anambra State? Any idea?
What is it?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
Well, all I know is that Anambra State is richer in economy.
Anambra has one of the lowest poverty rates in Nigeria. Yet, Anambra just got an airport 2-3 years ago. That is what we call putting the horse before the cart. One thing comes first. You say the government has several arms or ministries working simultaneously to produce results. In the end, one comes before the other. One takes priority over the other. So why haven't they, these elites, given priority over and above poor road network? Why do they give priority to airport over and above poor road network, where the greater number of masses are applying? And you are interested in building an airport where only a very few will meander and find their way home. Let the masses rust. It is not a question of what you want. It is not a question of what you wish. It's always a question of what is realistic, what is obtainable, how to serve the people better. And if you do that, I think that instead of building an airport and buying airlines, which I don't know how many people will patronize now, it would have been better to channel that into road networks. What a farmer needs most is good road. To be able to transport his food from farm to market. That makes the food you and I eat cheaper. If a farmer takes, loads 1 ton of his products to market and pays, assuming 100,000 naira, and the transport vehicle plies the road for, let's say, 1 hour, 100,000 naira, 1 hour. And the same farmer loads the same amount of products on a vehicle and pays 300,000 naira for the same distance, and instead of 1 hour, because of bad roads, they ply the driver, instead of going for 1 hour, goes for 6 hours. Who is at loss? No comment.
No.
Your guess is as good as mine, right?
Wait, Mr. Ting. Who told you that the government of Ebonyi State is not building roads? Who told you that? Have you gone there?
I didn't say they're not
building roads. No. You have to talk with facts. You cannot say that the government is not building road at all.
I have not said that.
You are insinuating that.
I am not. Don't enter my mind.
You just said that. You just said that.
I said
that building an airport.
I did not say that.
Putting the cat before the horse. That's what you are just saying.
You can't impute words in my mouth.
No.
What I said is that Ebonyi has, according to report, poor road network. That's what I'm looking at. I'm still looking at it here.
What is the source of that information? What is the source?
I have 3 sources. 1, Nigeria National Bureau of Statistics, NBS.
What year?
2.
What year?
2, World. Oh, I have 4, 5.
Because it could be a past.
Hello.
Tell me what year.
We are talking of 2022, 2023 here, please.
Oh, you are guessing. It's not there.
I said 20.
It's not there now.
I said
it's not here.
2022.
Listen.
I'm coming.
Okay.
I will show you. National Bureau of Statistics, NBS. 2, World Bank. 3, International Monetary Fund, IMF. 4, Nigeria Institute of Social and Economic Research, NISA. 5, State Government Reports and Publications. Now, when I was making the research on the population, I was specific enough and demanded for, you see the date here, 2022. If you open this one, what do you say here? This one says 2022/2023. Where is that figure?
All right.
So I don't talk based on fantasies.
Oh, okay.
I don't fantasize.
All right. We have gotten your points. For you, there is nothing wrong. Okay, there is something wrong with purchasing an airplane.
Building airport in ab initio, building the airport,
but all I
then
but you have to know that
airline.
you have to know that the airport has already been built, and there is no. It is unreasonable having an airline, an airport without airplanes.
May I ask you one question?
What is the question?
What do you think is the level of patronage of those airports?
Level of patronage.
Can you compare it with Anambra? You are in Anambra, right? Make a mental comparison between Anambra Airport and the Ebonyi Airport.
Ebonyi State is an agricultural state. And I've just told you that.
And that was why I asked you, why didn't the government consider farmers' interest?
It is doing that. I read in the news yesterday
and
that government is supporting farmers. Wait.
And yet verified reports are saying that Ebonyi has
2022 information now. From 2022 to how many years?
Rome was not.
How many years?
Rome was not built in a day. We are talking of. We are talking of.
2022 was Dave Umahi's time.
Less than 2 years.
We are in 2024. We are in the past. So excuse me.
Thank you for mentioning Umahi. Umahi. Even the Ebonians whom I have interacted with agrees that Umahi did exceptionally well compared to his predecessors. Once again, I have never heard anything of Muifu, the present governor.
Well,
and yet to read or hear anything like that. So, if you are trying to tell me that the magic has happened between 2023 and 2024, my brother, you might be wrong. Nobody has said that about the new government.
All right, Mr. Tim, I think we have gotten your point, but the debate still continues. As many Nigerians think that, many Ebonyi people think that this development will lead to economic, good economic operations in Ebonyi State, while others think that it is a misplaced priority. But I think the most important thing is that the government should put everything into consideration. While you are building an airplane, while you are building an airport, purchasing this and that, also think about the small things that you could do to help the local people, like construction of roads, and also helping farmers.
The poor masses, let me help you.
Yes. So, thank you for listening to us. We meet next time.